Hi.
We are.
The first thing that I want to say is thank you for the secret. That was just wonderful. Thank you. There was something that you said in the secret is the basis of my first question. And you said, I know it would be nice if when you first came to the planet, someone was there to say, welcome to planet Earth. And this is how it works.
Welcome to planet Earth.
Okay. My question is, and you've often said that when you leave the planet, you come back into full consciousness. You come into a state of total awareness and total beingness. And I have to imagine that that's where we are as we're planning on coming back.
It's the expanded version of you.
The expanded version of me. I want to know, why is it that we come back so clueless? Because obviously it's okay for us to eventually get a clue. That's why you're here, right? You're helping us to be not so clueless. Why is it that we choose to need you and people
we have a
like you?
question for you, because if you can answer this question, then we can answer this question. Because this is what's at the heart of this question that feels like the answer couldn't possibly be satisfying. Here's what's at the heart of your dissatisfying question.
Okay.
Why is it that you can't tell the difference between feeling good and feeling bad?
Oh, but I can.
Why is it that, as we played with you as we began, that you'd rather paddle upstream than flow downstream? What's that about? You see, when you made the decision to come forth into this physical body, you felt invincible. And this is the way you saw it. You said, all right, I'm source energy, and I'm going to go into an environment where I will more specifically choose. And when I do, the larger part of me will go to what I have chosen. And it will do the same for everyone else. So the entire experience will be an expanding, beneficial experience for everyone. And once that larger part of me goes there, it will call the rest of me over. And I'll be able to feel which way that is, because that way will feel really good. So it didn't go wrong until somebody convinced somebody that if it feels good, it's wrong. That's where it went wrong.
Okay.
And so now you want to listen to where you're hearing that message. Where do you hear that message? Who's promoting that message? Parents do it.
All day long.
Oh, I want to do this. Why? Because I want to. That's not a reason. You shouldn't do what you want to do. Life is not supposed to be easy and fun. Life is hard, and I want to teach you about the rowboat and about paddling upstream. I want to prepare you for the real world. You can't just be laying around and doing things that feel good all day. Churches say it. Churches say, you are evil, you are flawed, you are broken. There is something very wrong with you. And then they try to make it up to you. They say, oh, but this one died and took all of that away for you. And we say, well, then why can't I just go with the flow?
Thank you.
If someone died for me and took away all the stuff that I did bad before I was even born and was even doing anything, then how come I can't just now go with the flow? Because that's just lazy. Because life's supposed to be hard. And we say, where do you get this stuff? How can you defy your own guidance system as you listen to the peanut gallery that is not having a good time anyway?
Exactly.
So that's our fun answer. It's accurate, very accurate. But what we really want to say to you about this is that you knew that the variety would help you to choose. And so now what you're saying is, from your non-physical vantage point, you say, I'm invincible, I have guidance, and variety will help me choose, and then I will become it. Seems so simple and straightforward. From your physical now perspective, you say, okay, I'm choosing, I know what I don't want, which means I know what I do want, but I really know what I don't want. which means I know what I do want, but I really know what I don't want. I really, really, really know what I don't want. I so don't want this. How about you? Do you want it? They don't want it either. They don't want it either. Let's get together. Let's join a club. We don't want this. We don't want this. We don't want this. We don't want this. So what happens is you just got hung up in the we don't want instead of the we do want. And the greater part of you went to what you do want, and you're, for whatever reason, holding yourself over there in resistance to what you want for virtue, for the mark on the chart, to please someone else who has no clue. You see?
Yeah.
So we don't think that there is anything that has gone amiss with you banging around and putting a lot of stuff in vibrational escrow before you learn to go with it. In other words, there's nothing that has gone wrong here. We've learned, as we've interacted out here with leading edge creators for eternity, that in your very best moments, you're exploring contrast and giving birth, and that it's the thrill of life that you're always reaching for. And since we know that there's no end to the closing of that gap, we are not impatient at all about how long it takes any of you to close it. And here's the big picture. You so know who you are that you say, even if I go forth for an entire lifetime and am clueless about my guidance system and defy all of my natural impulses and instincts and somehow set aside my selfishness, which is so incredible that anyone could set aside their selfishness in order to follow what someone else says. In fact, we don't think anyone sets aside their selfishness to do what someone else thinks. We think they then decide that it serves them to please the others, and so they're still satisfying their selfishness by pleasing others. And that's really sort of how it gets screwy in there. You got to decide, when you care more about what they think about how you feel than you care about how you feel, now you're out of balance. But when you care about how you feel, then you get it back into alignment. So what's happened to so many of you, and from your non-physical vantage point, you said, I feel invincible. I know who I am. And I'm willing to go forth into a physical body. And even if I'm born into an environment that makes it hard for me to remember who I am, and I spent a lifetime of struggle, I know that when I croak, I'll come right back into alignment. And further, I know that every part of my struggle added to vibrational escrow, and all that is benefited in some way from it. So you said, I cannot possibly lose. The worst thing that could happen is that I could hold myself in discord for a brief moment in time. And from the greater scheme of things, that's like saying, we don't hear it very often from you, but have you ever gone to a friend and your friend says, how are you? And you say, I'm just terrible. And your friend says, what happened? And you said, I went to a bad movie. It upset me.
Yeah.
And your friend said, how long were you in there? And you say, 2 hours. And your friend would say, get over it. Get over it. And that's what we want to say to you. So you had a bad life. Get over it. Get over it. Because in the scheme of all that you are, it is so worth it, you see. And we're here saying far more than get over it. We're here saying we understand it. You're blessed beings, you're worthy beings, you're on the leading edge. The contrast has got you knowing what you do want, but you're stuck over there in what you don't want. Let go of the oars and let's go with the flow. And we're not the first to say it. In other words, people have been saying it and saying it and saying it and saying it. You just haven't been hearing it. And you haven't been hearing it so much that now you have the nerve to call it a secret.
Thank you.
Good time for a segment of refreshment.
Thank you so much.
We are complete.